It's Mailbag, and we've got a lot of stuff to get through this time. Let's get started. Well, let's start with the biggest first. This one said toy car. I think I ordered this a very long time ago. I think I know what it is. Let's find out. Yes, it is a giant robotic car chassis for do-it-yourself robotic car experiments. All it really has is the chassis, a couple of tires for the back, one wheel to balance for the front, and a DC motor for each wheel. And you do it yourself. From there, you control the motors, you put whatever features you want. So this would be the body. The motors for the wheels that get driven, the front balancing caster, battery pack, looks like 4 AA's, and miscellaneous things. It looks like rotary encoders and some mounting hardware and a switch. So when you put it all together, you got the wheels that you can drive, you got the battery pack, a balancing front wheel, and a lot of room to put whatever you want. So why would I want this so much? I want to use this as a learning platform for various Arduino things and learn how to control motors and use maybe an Arduino Uno on this and get to use all these sensors like this one for sensing obstacles and help the thing avoid collisions. Maybe I'll put a servo motor on this and have it scan for clearance before making a turn. I'll start out probably controlling the motor direction with a wired joystick or something like that, and then transition to wireless. Maybe learn some Wi-Fi, ESP32, ESP8266, things like that. And I'll just make this thing as ridiculous as I can by the time I'm done. So it's going to be an ongoing project, and I think I'm going to name him Snubber, because it kind of sounds like a little grubby thing that would be low to the ground, rolling around. And motors can have snubber circuitry across the terminals to help minimize emission noise, as well as electrical spikes coming back into the driving circuitry. So why not call it Snubber? It's Snubber. Let's put him away for now. We'll work on him as we go throughout the year. See what we get by Christmas. Maybe he'll have decorations all over him. I hope garland and tinsel doesn't get stuck in the wheels. Smart Robot Car Chassis Kit, Speed Encoder, Battery Box for Arduino. $8.49 from Hi, 17 new. They're saying take this car platform, add the microcontroller, sensors, and program it, and then you've got your own robot car. They say the motor is 3 to 6 volts. So here's the underside. There's a permanently mounted caster that can rotate its wheel as the rear wheels drive. Each wheel has an independent motor, so you turn both on at the same speed. You'll go forward or reverse, I guess, if you change direction. And you keep one motor stationary and drive the other to turn. Here's all the parts laid out, so you could easily make sure it looks like you received everything in the package. And either this is a very large kit or a very small person holding it. Although I'm not sure it's going to look as realistic as this when it's assembled. We'll see. Next, here's one called Smart Tracking Car Do-It-Yourself. I don't exactly remember ordering this, so I don't know what it is and if it's another kit or all-inclusive kit. That's half the fun sometimes of ordering something and looking at it 3 months later. Aha! I see wheels, DC motors again, I think I see a chassis wrapped up in instructions. So what's this one all about and how is it different? Other than smaller. Well, this one takes two double A's. It's got the wheels and motors, and it's got parts, but no chassis. Oh, no, in here. Aha, it's like a tiny version. It looks like it has double-sided tape. Maybe that's to hold the battery cover. And it's got silk-screened component markings. Oh, is this a line follower? I believe I remember here there was something about maybe these transistors, maybe the silk screen is wrong and you have to do it a different way. I have to look this up again before I just blindly put it together maybe. Yeah, there's the track, although it's kind of worn through to the white paper. And the typical circuit with a couple of comparators and LEDs with photoresistors, it looks like, adjustment potentiometers, and very simple one transistor motor driver on-off for each wheel. So I guess it can only go forward, but it can turn left or right. So I guess I can double check on the schematic which way these transistors should go, but I do remember something being mentioned that these may be marked wrong. So lots of stuff to work on. This is the line following robot. $3.96 from Industry Shop, but 99 cents shipping as well. So it looks like an LED and a photoresistor on each side of the front. And as you follow a thick black line, if you veer too much left or right, the reflections will pick up a different amount of light, and the comparator set points are going to trip and control the motors to automatically veer toward the line. They say with the photoresistor, the more bright the light source, the lower the resistance on the photoresistor will be. So that's what the comparator op-amp is going to be detecting with its preset threshold for light and dark. They use an LM393 dual comparator, and it's a geared motor, so it should be easier to control. They're calling it a closed-loop feedback control system, which makes sense because the feedback is the brightness of the LED changing the comparator output and making the motors cooperate until everything is stable again. When something goes out of control, the system automatically adjusts to try to get back in control. And here's the discrepancy with the silkscreen marking versus the component placement. The silkscreen marking shows the flat edge of both transistors face to the right, but the flat edge of the transistors in the assembly are facing each other. So one of these, Q2, looks like it's backwards. I don't know what's right and wrong with this until I analyze it while building it. Up next, it says blue tack. And it looks like this one was shipped just before Christmas 2017. Well, no time like the present. Tack it. Reusable and removable adhesive for home office and school. Well, I'm at home, so this is perfect. So, nail products since 1989. Dermatologically tested. So, they're using it on fingernails in various ways. But I'm going to use it to hold parts. So this is kind of like a putty, and you just take some of it, looks like chewed up gum, and you can just form it into a substrate, a lump, and here's what I plan to use it for. This is the broken fuse holder I took out of the hot air rework station recently, but suppose it weren't all broken, and I want it to be able to solder to this, but I need this to be held in place. It's not mounted to anything. Sometimes typical helping hands just aren't good enough. Like maybe the jaws just can't open enough, and if they do, it's gripping too much, and you just don't want to ruin it, mark it up, gouge it. So you dock it in the blue tack. You can position it how you want and it'll stay. Then you can work on it all you want, and when you're done, no mess, it comes right off and it's reusable. So very, very universal, malleable tack. Blue tack, reusable adhesive clay, $2.48 from Home Garden Us. There's similar products being marketed on here. This one happens to be marketed for fake fingernail adhesion and bedazzling fingernails, but I'm not using it for that, really. It never hardens, can be reused. You just roll it into the shape you want and go with it. Up next, business and industrial. What else? I bet they're lying. Business and industrial, yeah. Hey, it's more flat flex cable connectors. How many pins are these? 24 pin, quantity 10. So back to my part storage tray of flat flex materials. I recently received these 24 pin breakout boards, 1mm pitch, 0.5mm pitch. Well, that is very fine pitch. That's going to be fun to solder, but that's it. Now I have the connector and the breakout board that I can actually hook up things to a breadboard with, but I don't have 24 pin ribbons just yet. But we're working on it. On this flat flex connector order, I got a 24 pin, 0.5mm pitch top connect, 10 pieces, $2.14, Superior by 2014. When I actually get a 24 pin cable, I will try to assemble all of this and show how it goes together. This one says Cars Accessories. I'm not sure what that means, but there's something diagonal in here. It seems like it's some sort of a wheel shaft. I don't know. Where can I safely cut this? Okay, when they say Cars Accessories, they don't mean cars. This is some sort of inspection mirrors, telescoping, to look, so they say, under a car body, but yeah, not something like that size. Oh, it looks like it's a pen style clip. Now, I bought this, I think I just saw this while I was looking for other things, like maybe those magnifier lenses, and I thought, this might be useful for some reason, like if there's something I'm trying to inspect and I need to look at what's going on in behind it, I can get at that, but really, this doesn't have much other practical use. I don't know why they call it a car accessory. What are you going to see? But hey, it telescopes. So if you actually want to try it under a car body, go for it. I can also see this being useful if you're repairing something like, say, a very old vacuum tube style radio, and maybe you're trying to clean it out and it's got decades of grime and you just want to look in and see what's going on down somewhere that you can't reach, and you want to know if it's worth trying to get in there. So yeah, it's useful. And here's the telescoping stick with the creepy mirror on the end, depending on the currency we're looking at. Well, let's go with $2.75 from Lemon Top. So this is a straightforward thing. You can orient this mirror the same as you would with the alligator clips on a helping hand base, rotating ball joints, telescoping, do what you gotta do. And it looks like here they are checking their engine coolant and getting a good look at it. I don't know. It looks like a very clean, brand new engine. This is one of those shipments that the description is not in English, so I have no idea. But it's also something I ordered and was shipped just before Christmas 2017. Better late than never. I probably have packages like this lying under the chair and I'm gonna find it when I go to clean up next year or something. No, this year. I'll have to spring clean. So what is this? Oh, momentary tactile push buttons and breadboard friendly looking pins, which would be why I bought it. And they have a very good firm response. So that's pretty much all the parameters I would have looked for in a tactile switch for breadboards. Something that when you push it, you get a positive feedback response that you know it's been pushed and made contact. Some of these kind of little push buttons, you push them and you're not sure, did this actually go down enough? And for being breadboard friendly only in one direction, the shape of the rectangular pins, if you put them in one way, it's loose, it doesn't stay. But if you rotate, it will stay. And on a bigger breadboard, what I do notice, those legs on the pins are a bit short. It barely holds in on this one. So it just comes right out. Maybe we could get some extra solid core wire and extend these if we really want to use them on a breadboard. Either way, even if we have to save these for a solder project, I like them. 2-pin tactile push buttons. 100 pieces, $1.75. Wonderful buying, $365.88. The leads on here kind of look a lot longer than what I've got. So maybe this was part of the misconception. I thought this would be breadboard friendly, but not so. 100 of them for $1.75. I certainly will find some use for them even if I have to connect wires on myself to extend those. They talk about the dimensions, 6 by 6 by 5 millimeters, but they don't really say how many grams of force to push down the switch. I don't really like the weak ones where you can't tell that you're pressing it. So these did have a good force. Here we have apparently some power resistors, it says. These are most likely those huge aluminum body ones. Yep. This time I got 8 ohms and 6 ohms, 2 of each. And it's, again, just like similar ones I bought in the past. It's going to be for loading little audio power amplifiers like a couple of watts, just to do some load testing and see if I can determine the power rating of the amplifiers before they distort and compare that to the specs. So I've previously opened up a few different small audio amplifier boards from other mailbags, and now I can test those. 100-watt power resistors, I got 8 ohms and 6 ohms. They're $1.46, Zany M. Wire round, and they offer very small, like 0.01 ohms for maybe current sensing, all the way up to 5K. So whatever you need, if you need a lot of power, I'm building up a little collection of various values of these. That will allow me to do all kinds of load testing. If I want to run a motor at a few amps and have a sense resistor, I can just try to throw one of these on. It seems like I've been harvesting parts forever, but proportionally there haven't been as many projects, but that's because I'm gathering all the bits and pieces. I had unboxed a bunch of these Arduino sensors before, but now I have a project I can actually put it to use with. Now how about the bonus round? One more mailbag. Let's go with this. This is from January 28. Do-it-yourself stereo radio kit. Hey, is this AM and FM? Maybe this can go well with that FM transmitter I recently got. I have so many mailbag envelopes now, I probably should unbox more of these at one time. So this looks like a little telescoping antenna without the creepy mirror on the end. All right. A nice plastic enclosure speaker opening. Looks like this is where the radio tuning info dial would be. Aha, FM, TV, AM, two-band radio. I guess this is the antenna output. On-off volume and tuning dial. The instructions, a PCB, silkscreen markings, a decal for the tuning, instructions that look not English, but maybe they are. It shows part placement anyway. Hopefully, if nothing else, I can go through the bill of materials and figure out where things go. And inside the housing, the components, including a little speaker, which looks like it's got a bit of a dent. And it's fixed. That is small. 8 ohms, 0.5 watts. Okay, I can't wait to assemble that and try the FM transmitter as well. AM/FM stereo radio kit. I don't know why they're calling it stereo. There's one speaker, and, well, is there a stereo output jack? Is that what I'm seeing there? $3.97 from Fly Dream Shopping 01. In the details, I'm still not seeing anything conclusive about a stereo output. But I didn't really buy it for stereo or for headphone use, so I just need it to work. Runs on 2 AA batteries, AM and FM. That's all I could ask for, especially for less than $4. Looks like something to do on a Sunday. Well, that's a lot of stuff. And there's 3 project kits right here alone. The radio and 2 different robot cars. Some stuff to make life easier. And some stuff to let me test maybe power supplies as well as audio amplifiers. Miscellaneous parts. That was a good haul. There's lots more parts to open up though, so stay tuned.